What's up, everybody? We are back. Episode number 293.
Wow.
293. We are getting close to that 300. We're going to have to break out the tuxedos for that one.
Hey.
Yeah, right on. We have a special guest today who is in the green room right now, chowing down on some good stuff and drinking lots of alcohol and all that kind of fun stuff that we keep in the green room. I mean, we have a large budget for this show, so we've got all kinds of good
green
stuff.
M&Ms. We're probably safe with that particular guest.
I thought it was green acid.
Oh, or green Jello.
Anyhow, he'll be back. He'll be on in a moment. But before we do that, we do our normal thing where we go around the table and ask, if anybody has anything you want to shout out or show. We do a little show and tell before the show. Okay. Remember we used to? Did you guys all do show and tell in kindergarten? You brought something in to show.
Of course we did.
Yeah, I aced that, man. I was good at that.
Yeah.
I'm sure I brought some records in, actually.
I did too. I did that once in middle school and got suspended for it. Actually, it was Music Appreciation Day, and we were all allowed to bring a record in. And I brought in Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo.
Oh gosh, you are such a burning sinner. You're going to burn in hell.
Well, I did get detention for it or suspension or something like that, whatever it was at the time.
Man, like I said, just like what my parents used to think was heavy metal, Deep Purple, yep. Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, Kiss.
Oh yeah,
Kiss was. Well, we've already told the story about Kiss, but anyway.
Yeah. What's up, George? We got George Jim Rock, Damien Hair Metal, Metal Overkill, Tony Clem all checking in.
Yay.
So what do you got? Carcass, you got anything you want to shout out or show?
I have a couple of things. I got a nice little package in the mail from the HarXsons, Steve and Lance. I got stickers. I got pics. I got Concho in the background. I think I mentioned that last time. Also, shout out to Daniel Sawblade Shaw, formerly of War Master. To me, he is War Master. I know they went through changes and so forth. This is some of his artwork. I love it. He's made a huge sacrifice. He's going through a little tough time medically, and he's going to have a surgery. And so shout out to him. Hope he's on the mend soon. And like I said, he's gone through some real adversity and has made great sacrifices to make sure that he's covering himself. So and shout out to County Line Records, who is sitting on a powder keg of great metal. If you're
I saw that post.
If you're into old school, I mean, this guy, they have original pressings of Metallica, Therion, Bolt Thrower, Venom. A lot of this stuff is autographed. There's inserts and flyers and all sorts of fun stuff. Early Dark Angel, early all the Toxic Holocausts. It's unbelievable. And some of the pricing is such, but I know that I just talked to Rodney this afternoon, and he's going very moderate on his pricing. So it's not maxed out Discog style. It's not the cheapest, but it's somewhere in between, and all this stuff is in pristine condition. And wow. So County Line Records in Keller, Texas. If you're a metalhead, you will hit up their website, their Facebook page, their Instagram, and you will be astounded as to what you will see.
Right on. Steve, anything?
Yeah, so Scott and I were talking about this a couple hours ago, but Triumph just announced that they're coming back to the U.S. for the first time in forever.
Holy cow.
April Wine. And I was wrong. I was telling Scott it was the Allied Forces anniversary. It's actually the Rock and Roll Machine 50th anniversary. So I'm actually... Right. Yeah, they're doing 14 dates in the U.S. and one of them's here in Atlanta. So I'll definitely.
I wonder who's in the band. I seen it. I was looking online after you and I talked about it.
Yeah.
So people were on the saying it's not really Triumph. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean it's not really Triumph? Enjoy it. Yeah, well, that's what I would do.
If it's missing Rick Emmett, then I'm probably suspicious. But
no, Rick Emmett. I'm pretty sure Rick Emmett's on the tour. Yeah, because he's pictured in all the things, all the, and you could tell it's a modern picture, not a old picture. I don't know. I don't know who's with it. So
I know he left for that short while when Phil X joined the band, and I thought he was back with him again. So
right on. Well, that'd be a cool show to see. Especially with April opening up.
I wonder if they'll play Little Texas Shaker. Which is only available on the Canadian version of that record.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah.
I got
Me too.
multiple copies. I love that record.
Me too. Including the silver version, the nearly unplayable silver version.
Yeah.
All right, right on. Let's let me get mine running real quick so we can get our guest on, and he's actually in the back watching. Actually, let's bring him in. So
bring
him in, and then we'll I'll show what I got to show, and then we'll get into that after we do our
pick of the week.
Picks of the week. Yeah. So
show and smell.
Hey, there he is.
All right.
Everybody, welcome Lance HarXson from HarXson. And yeah, let me get into this real quick. Well, and so I finally got this in the mail this week. I'm pumped. I love this album. This will be in my top 30 of the year, but this is a new Worldview Invincible. This is actually not personally signed to me. This is one of those you pre-order and you get the autographed flat kind of thing with it. So it's a flat in front of it, but you also got a sticker with it, this vinyl sticker. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, I knew Worldview with Ray Parra on vocals and George Ochoa from Deliverance, and what else? Other bands was he in? Recon and Vengeance on guitar. And finally, the new Dark Angel. And
does it sound like thrash, Scott?
It sounds like thrash, and I don't care what all the haters say, man. This album freaking rules. Steve and I talked about it on the phone today. I mean, sure, there's some things you could pick apart about any record, but first of all, the samples that they put out online don't sound as good as the vinyl, period. I don't know if they were before they had gotten mastered or what it was, but these sound way better. However, I agree with Steve where you can definitely tell who the main man in the mix was, because the drums are pummeling.
I was telling Scott they needed second guitar player. He's like, there is a second guitar player, but the drums are so far forward, I can't even tell there's two guitar players. That was my biggest gripe, but it's still a great record.
Now, are there hints of Jimmy in there? Still, they use some of Jimmy's stuff, right?
Yeah, matter of fact, I believe one of the songs on here was like the last song he had written with them, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't have the CD in front of me. On the CD, it has the writers on the back cover. But yeah, it's really good. It's just good old school thrash metal. Is it better than the stuff they recorded 89, 90, 91? Probably not. I mean, but it's good. I really like it. And like I said, it's going to make my top 3. All these people online saying it's trash, they can go listen to their Metallica albums and listen and have fun with that. Because
listen to their Saint Anger.
They can go listen to their Saint Anger and
talk about drums not being out front.
Whatever other trash they have. But anyhow, the other thing I got, and I'm super disappointed in this, was the new Alice Cooper Welcome to My Nightmare Live, which I wanted on vinyl, didn't get on vinyl, so I ordered the CD. And look at this crap. These record companies, they're just people don't want this garbage.
They're trying to save the planet, Scott.
You're not saving anything. You're just ripping people off, especially because they wanted $25 for this stupid ass thing.
Okay. I'm just kidding, right?
Oh yeah, but I can say that the cover's cool. I don't know how well it's shown here, but you know how the original album has all the bugs in the background. The bugs are there too, but it's done with like you can't really see it. It's done with like a spot varnish. It's pretty neat, but I'm disappointed in the packaging. I thought it was going to be at least a jewel case CD, not this garbage.
But so Andrew just wrote all 3 original members are part of the Triumph reunion.
Yep, I just saw that too.
Yeah,
we got lots of people checking in. George G, Mark's Chaos
from Melbourne, Australia.
Yep. Sam, what's up? Yep. HTP fan, happy 9 years of Circle of Dust, Machines of Our Disgrace. I do like Circle of Dust, or industrial metal. Tony Clem, yeah, there's 2 covers for that. For that Dark Angel, there's I guess a hand-drawn cover, and then there's the one that everybody complained about and claimed was AI, but isn't AI. So I like the cover. I don't care what anybody says. It's a good cover.
People just say everything's AI at this point. It's.
Yeah. Anyhow, lots of people checking in, so I'm glad everybody's here. All right, that was it for me. So let's get into your picks of the week there. And don't we have a sponsor for Picks of the Week?
We do. It's Stalk Up Law.
Stalk Up Law.
And the team over there at Stalk Up Law. If you got any legal issues, man, you shouldn't, because those guys will take care of you. I love that intro. Okay, 2 picks of the week. One's a rock pick, one's a metal pick. This is easy, and I'm going to make Blackmore Rules really happy. I've been listening to this thing all week on the new big system, but Deep Purple in rock, this thing is outstanding. This wasn't what got me hooked on Deep Purple, but this is the one that I walked back to get after Machine Head. So, and this is the German pressing. Of course, you're probably familiar with the blue, but the German pressing has a white cover. So Deep Purple in rock, every metalhead should own it.
Out in Time may be one of the greatest songs ever written.
Yeah. And here's something else. I saw a deal with a guitarist for Loudness, and so it kind of jogged my conscience. And Unleashed in the East by Loudness on a Japanese pressing. Of course, you need it on Japanese pressing. So I've been spinning this thing, and this thing is phenomenal. You when you leave something on the shelf for a while, you don't realize how great it is until you go back to it. Man, this thing is killer. It sounds great. The solos are great. The hooks are great. The drums sound wonderful. So can't speak highly enough of this. Loudness, Unleashed, or Thunder in the East, and Deep Purple in rock. Those are my picks.
People don't realize that Loudness is still floating around putting stuff out.
They still are. They've what, 30 albums, 28 albums, something
crazy.
Something ridiculous like that.
But I bet you that thing worked each album that was on each side of it sitting on the shelf.
It did, but now it's flat.
How hot it is.
It's flat as a pancake, and man, it sounds great. I love this record.
I'm talking about the albums next to it.
Oh yeah,
it'll melt those.
A heavy metal meltdown for sure.
Yeah. Right on. I'm just curious, Evan Williams, have you actually heard the CD or the vinyl, or are you just going by off the digital? Because it seems to me that everybody seems to hate it, haven't actually really heard it.
Those are the same people that hated the Testament too, and I wasn't a huge fan, but I went back and actually listened to it several times, and man, it's good. I mean, it's not my favorite Testament, but the same thing with a Dark Angel. I actually listened to the vinyl version, and wow, it does sound a lot better than what you heard when they were just throwing out snippets trying to entice you.
Yep, I agree.
So,
well, let's get into the show. So for episode number 293, we have special guest Lance HarXson down there in the bottom. I guess that would be everybody's left, right? If you're facing the screen.
Yeah, everybody's. I guess so.
And Lance is the guitar player for HarXson and was formerly the guitar player for HarXson for 18 years
and a little over 16
years. Right on. And your brother Steve, he was the bass player for about the same amount of time, was it not?
Oh yeah, for the whole amount of time. Yes.
Cool. And you were in the band too with Glenn Rogers for a little while, right?
Yes, sir. 2 times.
Right on. Yeah, Glenn's a good friend of mine. He's my bro. So anyhow, cool. So let's before we get into it, I figured out a way to do this on this new app that we're using for streaming the show. But check it out. We're gonna hear some HarXson real quick here. This is a short song, kind of a punky thrash song. So. Ace.
Going out tonight, gonna have a real good time. Yeah, the drummer leave all of what's behind. Like a wet dream, stay out of our way. Down on your knees, time for you to sit down and walk away. Don't wanna see up to their face. Feel the pain, don't trust you hard, cause you fail anyway. Running free, running wild, standing tall. Better be ready when they fall. Matter of time to do what's right. Here to please, so get down on your knees. So low.
That song is called. That's actually
Control.
called SOB, is it not?
Yes, it's a love song.
Yeah. kind of like Spinal Tap did a little love song called "Lick My Love Pump," kind of in that vein. So
yeah, Alice Cooper, Holy Muscle of Love. You know,
there you go. Right on.
We just went beyond PG-13. Here we go.
Here we go. What?
Oh, I'm just saying, we're going off the edge.
Yeah, right on. Actually, there's a bunch of them. Well, you're talking Ted Nugent. You got what is it? Wang Dang Sweet Poontang?
Of course. Oh, yeah. Cat Scratch Fever. I mean, come on. We can be here all day.
Hey, we're not the only corny band in the world.
Oh.
Yep. Getting lots of fire emoticons. So people are digging it. Very cool. Cool. So let's talk about we can get into stuff we can get into the old HarXson stuff later on. Let's get into HarXson and what's going on with HarXson. So the floor is yours, man. Tell us about what's going on.
Oh, great shit, man. Our label, that guy up there, and Bill just released the release date. So, it's all official now. Everything's out there. The cat's out of the bag. The other day, Sunday, we just recorded the music video for the title track, Can't Kill Us. And it's pretty badass. It's going to be so great. I could ask one favor of everyone. Please go to the next cemetery tomorrow and visit my neck, because that's pretty much where it's at right now. A week to heal.
Yeah, if you guys go onto Facebook and look up you can look at mine. I don't know where else you could find it, but they actually played a few songs live at the video shoot for people, and there's some video footage on there. Glenn Rogers also has some video footage up there, and then there's also a picture of all the bands because at your the video recording, you ended up getting a bunch of ex-Hirax members there to support you, which is fantastic.
Yes, we had Angelo, we had Jorge, and we had Glenn Rogers, and lots of other people came out. I mean, I pretty much just friends of friends, and I made a little list, started contacting people, and then like 2-3 days before the video, we did a post and to invite some more people. But just for old school grassroots, I did pretty good inviting a lot of people. My one friend got Lloyd Grant out. Lloyd was there.
Right on.
Hit the lights, Lloyd Grant.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. It was really cool. And Sideshow, got to give a shout out to Gina and Sherman, man. That place has some great vibes, and so it was just a very great day for the video and just for metal and the community and everything. It was cool.
Right on. Bill Matoyer make it out too? I heard he was going to try.
No, Bill couldn't make it. And he was really sorry. He really wanted to be there. Jimmy Cabs from KNEC did make it.
Right on.
Yeah. He doesn't go anywhere really. But he came out for us, man. I really love that guy. He's always been good to us.
And those who don't know, Angelo
Espino
was the guy who was there. Angelo is actually the
Angelo Espino. About us.
Yeah, that guy's he's super cool guy. He's been in so many freaking bands. He's been in Reverend.
Yep.
Back in the heyday of Reverend, when they were a fairly new band. He's in Heretic these days. He was in Once Dead. I was actually in a band with him for a couple years.
He was in HarXson. Before I was in HarXson, I actually read for HarXson. It was the New Age of Terror lineup with Dave Edrick, Angelo Espino, Dave Watson.
Yep.
And then Glenn Rogers and Caton. And I did a little bit of traveling with them. They did a little tour. And so, I got to roadie for those guys. I really, love them. And then, of course, once that all fell apart, then I started working on the demos for Assassins of War. And Glenn had heard about it and got a hold of Caton. And then, boom, Glenn came over and the rest is history.
Yeah. A classic album. So before we get into the I wanted to bring this up. Hopefully you don't mind, but before we get into the album, when I was talking to you guys on the phone way back before the album was actually finished recording and mixing and everything, you were telling me we were talking about obviously we're talking a lot about HarXson here, and you're talking about Caton and how much you guys appreciated him. He's like, because you're not no longer in the band, and everybody thinks, oh, they're not in the band anymore. They probably hate the guy, but you really don't. You guys had some good stuff to say about him, so I just thought maybe, I just thought maybe I'd give you a chance to tell people. I mean, why? There's no reason to hate on the guy. Why do you? You told me why you loved him, so why don't you tell everybody else why?
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot with Caton. Of course, like with any band, there's going to be great times. There's going to be tough times. It's just like anything, right? It's like a relationship.
Yeah, a family. Yep.
Yeah. And, but yeah, I got nothing bad to say about him. I mean, whatever happened. And, it was time, I guess, and it just all went down. There's no reason to hate Caton. We had a lot of great times together and played so many shows around the world. I mean, he gave me and Steve, our big break, pretty much, you can call it,
right.
Besides that, I love the guy, and I'm sure he has nothing bad to say about us either. If anything, it'd be about me because I'm always, the wildcat of the band, but,
Nope. We had him on the show that 8-9 months ago, something like that. And
not even
that long ago. It was after
about everybody
Heroes.
that's been in the band.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it was after Hell's Heroes, so that would have been in March or April or May.
Oh, it's not even that long ago. So yeah, and he had nothing negative to say about any of you guys.
That dude's awesome.
Yeah, it's just, just being with him so long, and there's one thing about Caton, man. As a lyricist, he's a great lyricist. The way he tells stories, even the the first two albums, we played a lot of that stuff.
That's classic.
It's freaking badass, really. And then even all the stuff we did with him, Immortal Legacy, the last album, great lyrics, and the vocals as well. So, that I got nothing bad to say about Caton. I know a lot of people, oh, he's black. Well, no shit. Who cares? I don't see, but duh, like,
thanks, Captain Obvious. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. I used to get mad, and still do. I watch the videos all the time and go through all these, I go through the comments, and there's always some, someone's got to leave a turd there, and I was always like, Caton, I'm going to fucking sign in. I'm going to tell this guy to go fuck it, go get, and he's like, dude, no, don't even waste your time. Thanks for trying to protect me, but I don't need it,
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I don't know. I just grew up in the East Coast of New Jersey. And so there was such a mishmash of people. I never even thought about race when I was growing up. Recently, in the last 5, 6, 10 years, whatever it's been, it's become this big thing again. And I'm like, who cares what color your freaking skin is?
Who knows why? Because aren't we supposed to be more tolerant and more forgiving and more whatever? I mean, give me a break. No one ever said anything about Derek Green in Sepultura or Mike Smith or Terrence.
Oh, we said a lot about Derek Green. It just wasn't.
Yeah, they say shit about everyone.
Man, you know what? As much as I love Sepultura, and everyone seems to want to hate the Derek Green version, I saw that dude live 3 times, and he was killing it, man.
Oh, he sounds good.
And we just saw him recently when they were kind of on that retirement tour or whatever. Yeah. And I mean, if he's representing Sepultura, he's doing a great job. And you know what? I never even thought about him being
there it is.
Yeah. Black, white, Chinese, it doesn't matter. I mean, metal is metal. It's about being able to play it. It's like I was talking to Jamie Moore, who we've had on the show. And he said, man, that's the beauty of metal, is that either you can or you can't. And when it's bad, it's really bad. But when it's good, man, it just cuts you all the way to the soul, and it's meaningful. But I don't think anybody really looks at the color of one's skin. That's just so lame. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
And Caton is, man, that is a high energy dude for someone who's nearly 60, or he might be 60. And he's just,
he's 60.
I saw him
he's a couple years older than I am.
At Hell's Heroes. Dude, he was all over the map, and I'm just like, hey, man, if nothing else, I would aspire to be that person Who cares what color it's like driving a Corvette. Who cares if it's white, black, red, yellow? It doesn't matter. It's a Corvette, for crying out loud. And that's the way I feel about Caden. That dude's I think he would make any band better. I mean,
well, and not only that, but the dude's a metal maniac. I mean, the guy's a walking encyclopedia of metal.
Yeah, and every time we've had him on the show, when the show ends, we're on with him for like another hour at least, just talking music.
Just talking music.
Yeah.
But getting back to HarXson, you're right. He kind of put you guys out there, and now people know who you are. I knew who you were, and I thought, I wonder what they're going to do. And then here we are talking about it. And
trust me, we wouldn't have lasted that long if we weren't, doing our part.
Sure.
But I mean, hey, the thing about us, we were a live band. We're a great live band, and we carried the spirit. We brought that spirit, man. That's what you need to have. You got to represent that fucking music, and that's what we did, and we did it well. I mean, I know we did. I'm not gonna ask. I know what we put into it, and because we loved it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
He's a great dude. Don't see color. There's always going to be a turd in the pile, fuck people that, whatever. Everyone has their opinion. Don't have to say fuck them, but,
we'll say this.
Well, and
right on.
The beauty of HarXson is that you've taken a part of that with you. And now you're trying to, they're trying to do your own vocals and do your own thing, which I think is great. But that energy is still there. I mean, I've heard the tracks. In fact, when Steve sent me the track for Contra, because I said, well, I want to hear kind of what it, what the track is all about, and it will help me come up with an idea for the drawing. And it took 3 bars or 2 measures, and I was already into it. And then you see the result in the back, and man, and I got another one. You sent Axes of Death too, and I'm already headlong into that thing. Like I said, it's going to be a violent truck driving.
I really like that song. Axes of Death is one of my favorites on the album.
And there's some crushing riffing going on, and I really, really dig it. So mad props to you. And I don't care that you're white, because you're a good guitar player.
Thank you.
I don't care. Right on. Well, let's talk about the because I got a few comments that I haven't put up yet, because people are talking about the people want to ask about the album cover. I'm trying to find the comments now. Here you go. So Ed Repka, who of course is known for, gosh, he's done so many fantastic covers, it's ridiculous. He did a new HarXson cover. What was it? Did you guys give him an idea? How did that go about? How'd that come about?
Yeah, we kind of, we just contacted him, and all the things on that cover are kind of parts of the chorus of Can't Kill Us. There's little things, angels' wings burned to dust, nails on the coffin turned to rust, and then the Disciple guys, that was his idea. Those are the disciples summoning him, I guess, and the demon, and we just let him go with it. Got back with them, and just a couple little changes. I think the nails in the coffin was the only thing that wasn't there. And it's Ed Repka, man. How could you even ask him a suggestion? Could you add this, email? Like, is he going to tell us to fuck off, or, but hey, he knew who we were, because he had actually done the cover for HarXson, El Rostro de la Muerte. We did mention that, hey, we're the ex-members of HarXson, and you did this album cover, and we want you to do our EP cover. And
right
he wrote us right back. He was down. So thanks, Ed.
He's definitely a name in the metal circles. Everybody knows who Ed Repka is, but also the album was recorded and mixed by a guy who everybody probably knows as well. Why don't you tell us about that?
Mr. Bill Matoya. Metal Blade alumni, and he's recorded everybody, man. Bill he's that guy that's making the magic happen.
Yep,
he's just amazing.
Yeah, and so anyhow, you guys got any questions, Steve, Carcass?
No, I mean, we you know, the HarXson brothers and I dialogue on the phone occasionally, so I usually get all my questions out then. But I guess the one question is, of course, I want to see you live. Am I going to have to buy a ticket to LA, or am I going to have to, or can I wait and have you plow through Texas for 7 or 8 shows?
You know, well, I don't know if we can do that many, but yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason we're doing this. We want to play live, you know, and I'm not sure when, but once this album's out, you know, and things are already starting to pop off right now. So, you know, our first live performance post HarXson was the video shoot, because we did the shoot, and then we actually, you know, played some of the songs, and it went pretty good. So, you know, I mean, it's a big step for our new singer, which is our old bass player, which is my brother. But I think he did pretty freaking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And he actually looked pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Strong on stage. Like he didn't look like he was shy or like, you know, walking up to that mic and singing. He looked
he's badass, man. The only thing I was scared at is, like, you know, Steve's not just a by the numbers bass player, you know, he's a fucking everywhere. And I know how we recorded the stuff, and then when he had to start singing it and playing, I was a little worried he might have to just ride on E through some parts. But he's stepping up to the plate pretty well. I didn't lose my bass player, gained a singer, and he does look pretty badass. He's cool. So
yeah, he is definitely cool. Right on. So the album is coming out it's actually coming out January 31st, I believe. And then but it goes on. Is that not the correct date? I thought
it was the 30th.
Oh, the 30th. You're probably right.
Yes.
The 30th, because it comes out on a Friday. That must be the Friday. All releases come out on a Friday. But then it goes on sale to pre-orders in 2 days, right? On Friday, I believe on this coming Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure. You post that on our pages so that
you're the one in charge on that, Scott.
Yeah, well, not really. It's actually Bill, but I did post
Let
it.
me check the 15 messages that Scott sent me about the record.
Sorry, I'm stupid excited about it. I've been sending everybody. I'm pushing it to everybody, but you know, I want to see these guys successful. You know, them and Patriarchs Black, and you know, it'd be a badass 4-band festival show if we could get Ironjaw, Creeper from Texas together with
Patriarchs and Black and HarXson.
No, Primal and
Primal, yeah.
Yeah, Primal and HarXson would be great.
Well, I have a venue that's available to me, and I can set that up right here in Fort Worth.
It may be already up. It may already be up. It says December 4th in the announcement on the Rock's website.
Okay, that's pre-sale. Pre-sale then.
I'm going to double check because I'm going into Rox's right now if that's the case. But
in the meantime,
no, it's not. But let me check the date. So you guys chat so I can look it up real quick. I want to make sure I give the right date.
Tell the story of Concho.
Okay. So Concho is the story about our last time in Japan at the True Thrash Fest 2018, and so it's literally just the story of, you know, like the day, and we included most of the bands. It was a 3-day festival, so we didn't have time to put everyone in there, but I mean, Steve just literally, that's Steve's story, you know, of that day or the days. So that's real cool. It's a dedication to Mickey Mosh, Rockstack Records, and you know, figure, hey man, that guy does a lot of hard work. He's a great guy, and so we figured, hey, why not dedicate a song to, you know, Japan, Mickey Mosh and the boys. And then, do you want the story on Concho?
No, you don't need to do that. But I was just saying that it's based on a real character, and which I think is really, really cool. And when I saw the picture of him, you had said something about, well, turn him into a zombie or something. And man, it was easy to do, and I'm glad it turned out. It was a little bit of a challenge because I don't typically do people, and I wanted it to look as real as so people would look at it and say, "Oh, that's Mickey Mosh. I know that guy."
No,
And,
that's DJ. I don't know his dad. I can't pronounce his name, but that's to be DJ Marmato. But he's one of Mickey's helpers, and anyway, he's a real guy, and he's one of Mickey's crew.
Gotcha.
I am digging through it. I can't believe I can't find this date. I know I had it in my head, and I can't remember it. But keep going. Sorry, you guys can talk.
Well, just go ahead and release it, Scott. Let's just go.
No, it's got. I want to let everybody know when it goes up on pre-sale, so that because if you do pre-buy the album, you get free stuff. So the first 50 vinyl.
Oh, there it is.
The first 50 vinyl pre-orders get an autographed 8x10 glossy that the guys have already signed and shipped over to their label. That's correct, right, Lance?
It's right here.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. Hang on, let me get back so I can see you guys because I'm digging still. There it is. Hang on, I figured this out.
Corner. There you go.
I test signed it with a shitty pen, so this one won't to anybody.
Right on. Yep. So everybody's going to get one of those, and if I can figure out how to get you back to where you were.
And these are going to be special, guys. Anyone who does the pre-sale, because there's a little mistake on here, and
there is.
There's only 250 of them, and so we're gonna, before we reprint those, we're gonna get rid of all of them. So
there's a little typo. There's a. I'll give you a hint. There's an R missing. But anyhow, the CD as well will get a vinyl sticker.
So it says HarXson on there.
What's that?
It just says HarXson on there.
HarXson, yes, HarXson.
Close enough. It's
the R. So the R is missing on the. It's also on the front cover like that. The R is missing, so it's just HarXson. So, just kidding. Actually, it's one of their last names is an R missing in it, but
yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, keep talking. I gotta find that date because that's gonna drive me up a freaking wall, and I know it's on my YouTube, Facebook. This is
for some reason the announcement I have says December 4th, so it just may be a.
I think
that's the release. That's the date of the. That was the the
press release, whatever.
That was when it came out.
Yeah,
here it is for immediate release. Pre-orders will launch Friday, 12/12/25 at 8 a.m. California time.
Oh, that's right, because that's my parents' anniversary.
There you go. So
67.
Buy him some HarXson for.
I'm gonna buy him. I'm gonna buy him a HarXson record. I think my mom would really dig that. She's musical.
Yeah, absolutely. Wasn't your mom a classical musician?
She was a classically trained musician. Yes.
I mean, what's the difference between classical music and thrash?
Classic thrash metal.
Amplifiers.
There's quite a few thrash metal guitar players
I can throw that at her. Anyway.
Right on. So I will put that in. I'll put the date. What I say was 12/12.
12/12/25. So
I'm going to put it on the thing for everybody so they don't have to look it up. Go ahead.
Ideally, okay, the record comes out and you're going to put some effort into touring. I'm sure you'll play lots of local shows. That's a lot easier for you logistically. But do you have like an agency or some sort of a booking agent or someone that can extend the branch out? Because I know a few people, but man, it would be great I know in Texas you would be huge.
Yeah, we've been there plenty of times, and yes, it'd be badass. So John, we don't have an official person, but I have a lot of really good friends, and I'm sure if some bands came through, I could write them and hey, see if you can get us on that show. Actually, just to answer your question, we'll talk about that Texas thing soon. See if we can work something out for a 1Z, 2Z, a couple shows, because we can't really leave that long right now. There's no one to cover for Steve, at the business he runs, but we could do some stuff traveling. But with the release, the date of the album, we're playing our first official show with the local San Diego band called fucking Nukem.
Oh yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah,
love them. Steve Brogman is Gary Holt's guitar tech for Exodus and Slayer, and then you know what I mean. He's a great guy, and so we were going to play that show. It's his birthday bash. And he added us to it. And so then we just talked to him last week. And, me and Steve kind of mentioned that, yeah, we just found out that's our release date, but we don't want to, post that on your birthday bash show. And he's like, fuck that. We're putting that on the flyer. You know what I mean? He's like, he was down with pushing our release date on the gig. So that's really cool, and, but as far as touring and all that crap, I think was your question. Yes, we're going to do some, but we're just not sure. And we do not have an official manager, booking agent, anything yet.
Okay. Well, we can talk about that off air because I do have some ideas. And,
okay.
And I did do a cover for another thrash type, classic thrash metal, whatever band called Monarch that's down in San Diego, and which has some pretty serviceable players. But anyway, so we can tag team on that, and because we'd love to see you in Texas for sure. And you got to drive right past Scott's house when you come to Texas from that area.
That's true.
So,
I would love it. Again, flights would be better, but who knows,
Yeah, but if you're picking up shows in, I don't know, Phoenix and El Paso and Albuquerque and I'm already thinking about, okay, what's the route here? But
Nordic Fire asked about it being an EP and how long is it? It's about 30 minutes. This is just a hair under 30 minutes, I think. It's about the same as Slayer's third album. Slay is about the same as Van Halen Diver Down.
Yeah.
Those are, or there's a lot of
30 minutes. That's a traditional thrash album right there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Actually, most of the
and you're going to discover why it's
minutes, weren't they?
It's really not an EP, because an EP is considered 5 songs or under. It's what I found out just recently, and 7 songs or more is considered a full length. So, but yeah, there's one of the things that's on the EP that most people don't know about, which I think was fantastic, was the bass solo.
See what I mean about my bass player? And then Mata, who's got a bass solo right before the guitar solo?
Oh yeah.
Diablo,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, it's fantastic. So I have a question. When you guys do play shows, are you going to pull out any old HarXson songs here and there?
Yes, we're planning on, it's not really a cover. It's one of my songs from Immortal, but yeah, we're going to do one of my favorite songs to play live, Gallows Pole.
Right on.
Just fucking love fun. That song's like a tank rolling through, the trenches. It's fucking badass. But yeah, so that's one thing. We got a couple, covers. We're gonna do a cover of a cover from a little band from the UK. A song called So Fucking What. That one's really fun to play. And
Anti-Nowhere League.
Anti-Nowhere League? Yeah.
Anti-Nowhere League and Metallic. We're gonna,
Mr. Pickle's got a suggestion for you. My Dingaling.
That's right up our fucking Mr. Pickles. That's right up our alley, buddy.
That's funny. You got a smiley face for Mr. Pickle.
I see.
Right on.
But yeah, then we're, there's another cover we're probably going to do, we're just appreciative. The song Axes of Death is pretty much, about all our forefathers in metal, and a lot of them they're gone now. And, carry the pall, we're the pallbearers and we're carrying the torch, so that's kind of a dedication, or not a dedication, but it's basically roughly about, our forefathers. And we're also going to do We Are the Road Crew from Motorhead.
Oh, cool. Motorhead track. Yeah.
Great track.
It's one of my favorite songs to play for sure. It's just,
yeah. The live version's the best version off of No Sleep.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I was just listening. There it is. I was just listening to it recently.
Yeah.
The introduction part is the best. when he introduces the band.
That guy screaming.
The guy comes out and screams. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't understand a word he's saying. He's obviously plastered. It's hilarious. This is actually the album that really got me into Motorhead back in, gosh, when did this come out? Like 80, 81. I read a review. I think it was at Hit Parader or Circus or Cream, one of those, how Motorhead was the worst band in the world. I don't remember which magazine it was, but one of them did it, and I was like, oh, then I got to check them out.
Yeah.
And I became a Motorhead fan because of that stupid review that said they were the worst band in the world.
That sounds like something a Rolling Stone would say.
Yeah,
yeah, it was one of the.
Guys.
I never bought Rolling Stones. It was one of those other ones because I used to read Hip Raiders, Circus. I used to read Circus and Cream a lot, so it was probably one of those two.
Yeah,
and Cream was pretty. What's the word? Blunt.
Yeah,
about stuff they didn't like. So
Cream was anti
Cream.
everybody for a while there.
Oh yeah, they pretty much hated everything that came out in the late 70s.
Yeah.
They hated, but although bands like Kiss and Aerosmith, they made them a lot of money because
were they the ones that said that Grand Funk is the worst album, or they put out the worst album in the history of albums.
Something like that,
Any promotion is good promotion, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was almost a rite of passage back then for Cream magazine to hate you.
Yeah, actually, I can tell you a little story about Rox Records. They put out an album this past year. I don't want to get the band. I don't want to have any problem with the band. So, but I'll just say they put out an album this last year, and the album, it was an old '80s style glam album. Apparently, there was a lot of friction between the band members that after the band broke up, and there was just all this negative controversy all over the internet about the album. But the album sold out. I was worried about it selling at all, and the freaking album sold out because of all the controversy.
Yeah,
they literally had to repress it. So, oops, forgot to turn my phone off. Sorry about that. Anyhow, cool. Let's. What else we done? We just kind of. This is where the roundtable works. We just chat.
It's all good, man. Hey, thanks for having me again. This was fun the last time with Steve, you know, and it's always great to see you guys. You guys are, you guys definitely warriors. We're sitting at the king's table right now, right?
Yeah. That's why we call it the Metal Round Table. So we have multiple guests on and multiple people. And some days we have 6 people on. Some days it's just 2 of us. It just depends on the topic in the day. So, and we've had big artists on, and we've had artists that nobody probably still knows who they are. But I mean, everybody from Saxon to what was that band we brought on with the real young kids that were friends of yours? Carcass.
Macabre,
yeah,
from Milwaukee.
Yeah,
they were fun. They sent Rob a can of beer with a signed koozie or something on it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
they were hilarious. Well, I'm going to ask another question because
go for it. We got time.
In talking with Tex Duncan from the vocalist from Creeper is my brother-in-law, and they always have an interesting angle on things. Plus, they're local, and we see them quite a bit. But they've already written 9 songs for. They just released that after almost 20 years of touring and playing shows and pub gigs, and they've had this lineup together for a solid 8 years. They put out that great record. Of course, Kerry Crafton, Sterling Winfield were involved, which is like a Bill Metoyer, except the Texas version of that. And but they've told me that they've already written 6 to 8 new songs already. Are you kind of in that process too? You've got these written and they're on wax, and now you're ready to move forward.
Got plenty of crap to start working on. Steve's already got like 4 really solid ideas. I've got plenty of solid ideas. I just need to show it to Steve. And once we start working on shit, then we just pull out a notepad and start, doing the formula, play this one that many times, that many times, and it's all going to come together pretty quick. But yeah, the main goal is to get this out first, start doing some shows, and then we're going to start working on stuff. So at this moment, we're not working, but the coals are still burning.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was trying to imply, that obviously you want this thing pushed out there and you want to go in 100% first, before you put the add another horse to pulling the cart, I guess. But that's a good that means that the ideas are going to be around in the future, which is great.
Oh yeah, man, we got plenty of shit. I mean, I'm kind of a freak. I don't know if you guys ever heard that story about Kurt Hammett losing his phone fucking somewhere, and he was freaking out because all his riffs are on his phone.
Yeah, I never heard that.
778, and that goes all the way to riff 1. So if 1 out of 10 of these are good, I think that's like 70 great, and a great riff isn't just like one little piece. I'll have, at least 3 pieces that, they come out of me. And if I don't hit record, by the time I go grab the phone and hit record, I'll already forget it.
That is very cool. That's reminiscent of the Van Halen demos, the Gene Simmons demos. You hear bits and pieces of all the songs that they released on the album. So that's what's kind of cool, that you're not just
those over there. So good.
You're not just putting together one particular lick, but it's a combination of several. And it may change by the time you get to the studio. Who knows?
Well, if they all 3 come out, as I'm sitting there just jamming, my brain's going, okay, where does this go? Boom. If it works, awesome. Then where do I go? Okay, cool. And then come back to the top again. Oh, you need those 3 riffs, add a solo section, add an intro and an outro. You could have a 5-minute song in no time. Maybe add a middle part. It's pretty easy. That's the way I've always done it, with Caton and everything. I learned a lot being with Caton.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him. He's definitely a funny guy, man. I don't know if he wasn't a band, but man, that guy he would always make us laugh.
Oh yeah.
I really wish I could have played another song because Kevin figured out this program is. We're using a new. When I say new, it's actually the same program we've had, but they updated it and we paid for a new version of it about 3-4 episodes ago. So I'm still learning how to do stuff and bringing music in. I tried to bring another one of your songs in, and it kept telling me this song is too long, this song is too big. I'm like, forget it. I'm just going to bring in the short song. But anyhow, because I'd love to be able to play another song, but I'll have to be another time when I figure that out. Thank you guys for having me again. I wish the boss man Stevie was here. He's really the heart of this band. Steve is so fucking cool. He's just a great guy. Besides being my brother, I just love the guy. We have a lot of great memories. We've been all around the world all together, so that's pretty cool. We started out as kids. That was the dream, right? To, be on records, travel, and then make money. So we accomplished 2 of those things, but we have a few more minutes to go. I see there's quite a few people watching live. If any of you guys have a question for Lance, put it up so we'll ask him, because I see there's a bunch of people watching, but the comment section is a bit slow today. So you can ask him anything you want. Yeah, I'm willing to talk about anything, man. Yeah, like what kind of underwear does he wear? He boxers or briefs? It depends. If I'm wearing my stretchy pants, I wear boys' underwear because it just sucks everything in. But usually, I'm just wearing the regular old Hanes or Fruit of the Loom.
Boy, first, you never know what you're going to learn here on the Metal Round Table. Good grief. Okay, here's the last track. I was going to say, I just throw my name into the hat. When you get your Japanese tour and you're playing Osaka, night in Osaka. No, it's not then, I'm pretty handy with setting up and taking down drums and selling merch. So and Steve is my witness. That Pentagram thing, man, boy, that is a.
How long did you tour Pentagram for?
15 days, 15 shows in 15 days.
That's awesome.
And man, it was so taxing that by the time I got home and then stopped the next day, got home and woke up the next day, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like you don't really you're tired during the event, while things are happening and you're on the bus and loading in, loading out, et cetera, but it doesn't really hit you till you're back home.
What was crazy about Pentagram though is it wasn't even the equipment; it was all the merch. They had more merch than equipment. It was crazy.
We literally unloaded a 22-foot trailer full of merch.
Yeah,
and but you know what? That's how you sell more merch than you made that night with your guarantee. And
and there's really no money in music and records anymore. That's how you make your money. It's playing shows, selling shirts. Yeah,
and when you're touring, you're not making enough money to keep the fucking van rolling. So
right. Well, that's why I tell people, buy one less beer and buy a shirt, buy a CD, buy a sticker, do something. In fact, a lot of people were upset well, and I'll just be honest, if we're being transparent, Henry Vasquez is the metal version of the Tasmanian Devil, and he's a high energy guy, the drummer for Pentagram, and he had a vision of, we're going to have so much stuff to sell that people just can't resist. And once again, Steve was there in Atlanta and watched this continuous stream of unloading tubs full of shirts and hats and sweatshirts and hoodies and candles and stickers and albums. And
it was, I've never seen, even like big bands like Metallica and stuff will have like 1 or 2 posters. They had like 15 different posters you could choose from. It was crazy.
So yes, it was maddening, but you know what? That's how those guys survived. Yeah. And that made the difference. And so, like him or hate him, I appreciate his effort. We all have our flaws, but we have to look at the good stuff too. And man, I'm telling you, that's and bands are like that now. You have to sell product. We had talked to Dave Sanchez from Havoc, and he said that they have to stream a song 300 and some odd thousand times to make what they would make on one T-shirt sale. Yeah. And I just thought that is such a crime, And so I love supporting music, whether it be in person or online, but man, I love live music. And so we can't wait to get you guys, and if I got to get on an airplane, Steph, the Queen and I will get on an airplane and we'll fly out there and bang our heads and shake our fists. And
much appreciated, John.
Lance, you do have one question. Somebody wants to know what your favorite record. Yeah,
Mr. Pickle. It's kind of hard, but then it's kind of easy. I would have to say Immortal Legacy, my last HarXson album. That was the only one where every other HarXson EP and album that I was on, it was me and Glenn writing, but Immortal is all mine except for Steve's little bass, Steve's bass part. But yeah, I wrote every song on that album and got some great guest guitar players. Had fucking Father Jimmy Durkin's no longer with us. He's on a few songs. Fucking Rocky George on a few songs. Juan Garcia on a few songs. So I must say it would be Immortal.
Right, that's a great record. Juan Garcia, if people don't know, he's like kind of like a Southern California thrash legend.
Agent Steel, Evil Dead, and now he's Dead with Ice-T and
Body Count. Yeah,
great dude. I got to meet him at the last Dark Angel show I went to, and such a nice guy. He was. Ron's my buddy, so Ron took me back to the back area, and I was like, Ron, is there any chance that I could get to meet him? And he's like, sure, man. So he took off, Ron took off, and then they came back, sat in there, we just chatted metal for a little bit. He signed my record for me, and off he went. So
actually, he was in Abattoir too, wasn't he, Scott?
I think maybe, I'm not sure.
I believe he was. Yep. With because Steve wasn't the guitar player, and Steve Gaines wasn't the guitar player in Abattoir. He was just
I'm pretty sure he was in Abattoir for a while.
Yep, I'm almost positive you're right. Yeah,
man, that's a lot of skins on the wall.
You know what's a bummer? Fucking we had so many songs on Immortal, and I had already done all my solos. Rocky did his remote, so I never got beat up by Rocky. But they're watching fucking Juan. Juan was one day, and I'm like, fuck. My shit's already done. I'm like, Bill, can I go redo my shit? Bill's like, no. And then fucking Juan was sitting there and he goes, dude, what you played is what inspired this. And then same thing with Durkin. I was like, Bill, I want to fucking redo my solos. Durkin was like, dude, I'm playing off you. So I didn't get to redo my shit. And then when I heard Rockies, I was like, fuck. Like, send that spaceship down here and, give me a guitar lesson, Rocky.
Lance, are thrash and speed metal the same thing?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we called it speed metal back in the day. And then the term thrash kind of evolved into it once there was more of them, right? More bands. I don't know how it
I think that was more of a Bay Area term, the Bay Area thrash. And
I think maybe that was a misspelling because I remember people calling it trash. And so
there you go. My
well,
parents
really, I mean, speed metal, it was
that definition.
Warhammer, if we ever get Steve, well, I'm sure we'll have him on again, but Steve Gaines, that would be an interesting question for him because he's got a very poignant point about that conversation.
Where's Shannon Fry when you need him?
Shannon. Right. Yeah, Shannon's. I haven't seen Shannon today
we
from
need
Avenger
of Blood. From the Avenger of Blood.
I haven't seen him in a long time. You tell him I said hi when you see him.
You got it. He's usually here. He's not here today. I haven't seen him here today. He may have not just checked in.
Touring, when I toured with HarXson, when I was roadieing, they played with those guys, Avengers of Blood.
Good band. Love the album. The album's going to make my my top 5 this year, I think.
Funny how Steve Gaines always says, because people always say that first Avatar album is speed metal. He's like, no, it's not. It's a thrash album, and he'll argue.
I argued with somebody about that one because I did a video years ago called 5 Perfect Thrash Albums, and that was one of them I put on there, and people were up in arms saying that it wasn't thrash. I was like, you guys are fucking crazy.
Yep. Especially the first album. I mean, they went more melodic on the second album, but that first album is just straight up thrash. And anybody who says it's not just hasn't listened to it. That's all there is to it. But we are over time, so I guess if there's anything else you want to there. Oh, do we?
Yeah, Jeff Bresnick.
Oh, what ours was it? Oh, hey, what's up, Jeff? Jeff is a good friend of mine.
What
artist was the biggest influence for you?
I can't really. As far as guitar players, I would say Angus Young and Randy Rhoads. And then, so along with all the bands, then influences, I grew up on Scorpions, Maiden, Priest,
Uli Roth,
2 guitar player bands. And then, of course, ZZ Top, Skynyrd, Alice Cooper, Sabbath. So you got to throw Father Tony, the father of it all, up there with Randy. But as far as the guy that, warped my brain, Randy, probably the best guitar player that ever lived. And I know people have their favorites. Hey, it's my opinion. That's it.
Right on. Cool. Hey, so the album, which is called You Can't Kill Us. Yep, Can't Kill Us, is going on sale this Friday, 8 a.m. California time. It is a limited vinyl pressing. I can't remember how many it was. Was it 200 or
200? And once they sell out, we're going to do more. So,
but that's this colored vinyl, and with this insert, and the autographed 8x10s, they're only available through the pre-order. So that happens this Friday, and the album actually, the official release date is January 30th. However, I will tell you this: Rox does not have a strict standard on shipping before then. So if you pre-order and the albums come in early, he usually ships early. Even if it's a month, you'll get it earlier than everybody else. And this album will be available freaking everywhere. The distribution company that does No Life to Metal picked up the album, and it'll be available through Target and Walmart and Amoeba Records and Tower Records and all those different places. So it'll be available actually it may already be available for pre-order in those places. I think everybody's doing it on Friday, so you can pre-order it through other places. However, those places will not ship early, and they will not get the autographed 8x10s or the vinyl stickers. It looks so little in my hand. Must have big hands.
Are you talking about me? Anyway, everybody, get you a copy of the vinyl, because we want to sell those out, because we want to do some more. We can't let that great art go to waste. And thank you to fucking No Life Till Metal. But yeah, we're gonna have to talk to Scott, because sounds like there's gonna be one hot little tomato.
Yep. Right on. So so you guys know how we end this thing, but before we do that, I just want to say you can look up HarXson, Lance, and Steve on Facebook or Instagram. They're on both of those. I've seen them on both. Anywhere else people can find you guys at?
HarXson.com, our official website.
There you go.
And then like he said, Instagram, Facebook, and buy the vinyl. But yeah, we're all around. I think we're HarXson 666 on Instagram, and then Facebook. I think it's Stephen Lance Harrison or HarXson. But if you can find me, I'm Lance Shred Baron Harrison on Facebook, and then you'll be able to find the Stephen Lance from me if you want. So,
right on.
And you guys are on Bandcamp too, aren't you?
Oh yes, Steve's got us up there. I think it might be just search HarXson. He's been putting the 666 in there on some stuff, and I'm not really sure about the details on everything.
Right on. Well, you can find Steve on YouTube at Harmless Rebel 868, and you can also find him where else, Steve?
Harmless_rebel at Instagram.
There you go. You can find John on Instagram at Carcass John Art, or you can find him at
128 DB Rock in the Crypt, and we've been featuring some of the HarXson songs on our top of the second hour triple thrash threat.
Right on. You also been playing Creeper, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I've been praying. Yeah, I figured out a way to shoehorn those guys in there. In fact, I played one for the Queen the other day. I like to kind of pre-listen to my shows to see if it kind of works. And she sat there, and we had one of the kids in the car, and they're like, "Man, this sounds awfully familiar," because they had been bombarded with brutal death metal, and then all of a sudden there was a Creeper song sandwiched in between clairvoyance and decrepicy, and they're like, "This actually works." And I said, "I told you." The recording is so heavy that it just seems to fit. So, yep, 128 DB Rock, The Crypt is one show. It's 2 hours of heavy extreme music, and then I do Carcass John's Alter Ego, which is all the other stuff I like to listen to, whether it's Osric Tentacles or Steely Dan. You never know what you're gonna get.
And you can find me on Instagram at No Life Till Metal. You can find me on YouTube at No Life Till Metal or Scott Waters, or you can find me on Facebook. I'm easy to find. There's actually a lot of Scott Waters on Facebook, but just look for the old guy with the long greasy hair. That's me.
Easy.
Anyhow, so you guys know how we always end it. Appreciate everybody watching too. By the way, we had quite a few people watching, and we didn't have as much comments today. By the way, Warhammer just said, "Hey, John."
Is that "Hey John" to me or to Metal John's vlog?
Maybe both.
Oh.
Thanks, Warhammer. Yeah, it's just a cool shirt. Look at it. The Metal Queen.
Yeah, she's a looker, man.
Yeah, she's definitely not hard on the eyes, that's for sure. All right, so anyhow, for episode number 293, Metal will prevail. And then I'm going to leave you hanging while I figure out how to do the intro. Uh-oh.